Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the Daytona Beach, Florida. As you can see behind me, I am on the beach. I wanted to do a special predictions video for today. Post-race analysis will be at the track later tonight. I want to do something a little bit different. So as we usually go, this is the opener for the Fantasy League. You can join on the KRC League. I left it up in the community tab on the NASCAR website, mobile app. You can sign up with your email, free to join. Chance to win 2 races, Denny choosing in 2023 NASCAR Cup Series wise. And you, of course, have to beat me. You have to beat everybody else in the league. That goes for the regular season champ and the playoff champ. But now we get down to business. It is the Daytona 500. First, I want to briefly talk about Speed Weeks as a whole. It's been a wild event. Kind of lackluster, I guess you'd say. The dual races, drivers trying to take care of their equipment. There was good racing at times, good finish in dual race number 1. Very racy at the start of dual race number 2, pretty much the first half of that race until the green flag pit stops ended up started to spread things out. I think we're going to see a lot of that in the Daytona 500. There's twice as many cars in, obviously, the 500, so I think they'll be a lot tighter packed together, but if they get the green flag pit stops, that could be the difference maker in not only each of the stages, but, of course, the race win as well. It's going to be interesting. The Fords obviously look really, really fast. I think they are by far and away the best manufacturer out there. The Chevrolets have good single car speed, which is why I'm surprised when they strung apart the dual races they weren't able to run down the Fords. I thought that would have helped out a little bit better, but the Fords were, I mean, they were a little bit faster, but when they were about 4 or 5 seconds apart, I was trying to keep track with a stopwatch, especially in dual race number 1. They're only gaining about 2 to 3 tenths a second a lap, and with 20 laps to go and they were 5 seconds back, that's just not quick enough to be able to catch the pack, and that's what we saw, even with that 4-car group racing very hard those last 4 or 5 laps of the race. So I don't expect, honestly, anybody else to really compete with Fords if it ends on a green flag pit stop at the end of the race. As far as my predictions to win the race, actually first, doing this on the fly. Truck race, Xfinity race, they were both very good. Scary crash at the end of the Xfinity race. Glad everybody was okay in that one. By far the most frightening crash I've seen. It was great racing though throughout because they didn't really wreck much. That's what I love about super speedway racing is when they're super packed together. Cars are on the edge, or in truck's case, on the edge of control, but they're able to hang on to it. I get it, the big one is inevitable sometimes. You can't go every race without it. I would like there to not be one as many times, but honestly, for what it was really only, I think, 2 major wrecks in the Xfinity race, and they were kind of spaced apart in the last 25, 30 laps. And there's only one in the truck race, so I think all in all, for the most part, I know one car got really, really junked, and there were some cars and trucks that got junked. It could have been much, much worse. So honestly, the racing in those races, phenomenal, really was. As far as the Daytona 500 goes, we got predictions, as we usually do. We will keep track of these on a weekly basis throughout the course of the year and track that with how I guess, am going to do with the predictions. We'll keep track of the don't haves, the dark horses, the must haves. As usual, we usually start off with the don't haves. 2 drivers you should absolutely not have in your fantasy lineups today, or if you're betting, do not bet for these guys to win. It's way too risky. Kyle Busch and Martin Truex Jr., both for Joe Gibbs Racing. I mentioned that the Chevrolets have single car speed. The Fords are very fast in the pack. What do the Toyotas have to bring? I really don't know. They're outnumbered heavily. There's only like 6 competitive Toyotas in the field compared to a lot more Chevrolets and Fords as well. If I were them, I'd try to stick with the Ford strategy. Telling, especially after green flag pit stops, that the Fords are going to be the ones to beat, but we'll see if they can be able to do that and keep up with them when they're getting up to speed, especially. Martin Truex Jr. only has 4 top 10s in his last 23 Daytona starts. That includes both the summer and the Daytona 500 race. He's only got 3 career top 10s in 17 career starts in the Daytona 500. Kyle Busch, not much better than that. A little bit, but not much. He has finished, he has messed that up. 4 career top 10s in the last 16 Daytona 500s, or in his 16 career Daytona 500s. And in his last 10 Daytona starts, he has only finished in the top 14 one time. He seems to run well, but he just can't make it to the end of the race for whatever reason or another. And this week in particular, being at the track, I just don't think the Toyotas have speed. Even Denny Hamlin looks off compared to years past, to be completely honest. Now, with saying that, I'll get to him in a little bit. with his statistics at the racetrack and why you should probably take him on your fantasy team. But as far as the win pick goes, it's going to be tough for Hamlin to win number 4 this weekend. Justin Haley is a dark horse for the Daytona 500 in my personal opinion. I mentioned it on the dual race predictions on Thursday morning. Haley has finished 1st, 13th, and 6th in his 3 career Cup Series starts at Daytona, including 1 Daytona 500 start, of course. And in the Xfinity Series at Daytona, he's finished 1st, 6th, 2nd, and 4th. And I think that's going to show how good he is on the super speedways. Yes, the Kaulig cars have ran good both with and now even yesterday without him on the super speedways. But he is in a Kaulig car for the Cup Series. So, you know, whether it is him or it is the just overall speed in the Kaulig cars on the super speedways, he's still in a Kaulig car. He'll have a teammate in the 500 of, who's in the Hemrick? Hemrick is in the Daytona 500 if I remember right. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the chat. Again, trying to do this on the fly. His Xfinity starts at Talladega as well. 6th, 8th, 1st, 7th. I mean, Haley, I think, is a no-brainer for a long shot to win the race. I think he was like over 20-1 odds as well. So if you're looking for a dark horse, Justin Haley is that dark horse. The only downside is the fact that he is racing for Chevrolet and not for Ford. The Daytona 500 must-haves. These are 3 drivers you should absolutely have in your fantasy lineups today. Strong bets to win. None of them are heavy favorites either. We're going to start off with Denny Hamlin. Means we were talking about him briefly. He has 8 top 5s in the last 9 Daytona 500s. That is just absurd. 3 wins in that stretch as well. Sorry, last 10 Daytona 500s, but still 8 top 5s, last 3 Daytona 500s. He's not only able to make it to the end of the race, but he's always in contention to win the race, which is insane. He leads a lot of laps. He won both stages in last year's Daytona 500, even though he ended up with a 5th place finish. And again, yeah, 3 wins in the last, 5-6 years, since 2016. So yeah, 5 years at Daytona. It's just insane. I expect Denny Hamlin to run well today. Again, I think the Toyotas will try to stick with the Fords and strategy, so I think that'll help a little bit. I think he is far and away the best Toyota, not only in the field this weekend, but just in general as far as super speedway talent goes. And I think he is a must-have start for your lineup. He's not my pick to win the race today, but he is a must-have start. And then the 2 drivers who I debated on back and forth to win the race, I know you see my hat, this is completely unbiased, would be Ryan Blaney and Joey Logano. Ryan Blaney has 2 runner-ups in the Daytona 500. He has led 135 laps in the last 4 combined Daytona 500s. He has finished 1st, 6th, and 4th in 3 of his last 4 Daytona starts. Of course, he won here back in July. He ran well in the dual race, was 3 laps away from winning that this weekend. Definitely has one of the faster cars this weekend. I think he was fastest in first practice as well. To also go on top of that. And for Joey Logano, he has 5 top 6s in the last 7 Daytona 500, so his range of consistency in the 500 spreads a little bit further than Blaney. He has led 37, 26, 36, 6, and 40 laps in each of the last 5 Daytona 500s. That equates for 145 laps in his last 5 Daytona starts. So not 500s, but Daytona starts, and then the consistency in the 500s, like I mentioned, was the 5 top 6s in the last 7 Daytona 500s, including 4 top 5s, and including also a win back in 2015 in the Daytona 500. Remember, he is a champion of this race. He's going to a backup car. He'll have to start at the rear of the field after practically wrecking himself back in the dual race on Thursday, but I do think that he is going to definitely be a force to be reckoned with. He'll have to be coming from the back of the pack. I think he'll be there in the end. It's just going to be, can he keep his car in one piece to the end of the race? I think with him wrecking on the dual race on Thursday, maybe he knows where he can and can't make the block, I hope. And I hope this race ends under green. It would be, I think, the first race, all race weekend that ends under green. Well, I guess the ARCA race did, but it was uneventful race to say the least. But anyway, that is my predictions. I do think Joey Logano will win the Daytona 500. He is my pick. Comment down below your picks to win the Daytona 500. Hopefully this video wasn't a waste and you can hear me well with the waves in the background. And I will see you guys for more predictions, post-race analysis, and much more content. Race highlight videos from every race throughout Speed Weeks already up on the channel. A couple select highlight videos as well from out the truck and the Xfinity race also up on the channel. And we will have more to come from Daytona later today. I'll see you for the post-race later tonight, everybody. Have a good one.